Hi, so I'm Abbie from Radio News Hub. Can you tell me who you are and what we'll be talking about today?
Oh, I'm Greg Double. I'm creative director at a PR agency called Mischief, and we're going to be talking about Barbie and brands.
So tell me a little bit about the brand of Barbie.
Well, I think there's everything you've seen already. It depends if you're talking old Barbie or new Barbie. So I think look, Barbie is owned by Mattel. It's been around since the 60s. It's obviously gone through quite a significant transformation from having been considered sexist and out of date to being one of the most progressive and celebrated toys in marketing. So I think every criticism it had thrown at it, it's adapted to it, and now it's culminating in a film that is so popular it caused a shortage of pink paint worldwide.
So are you going to go watch Barbie?
Yeah, I want to do the double header. I want to do. I think you do Oppenheimer first, and then you do Barbie to cheer yourself up. But no, I've been given special permission by my missus to do a cinema day. It's hard. It's a hard trick to do when you're a parent. Cinema is one of the things that goes out the window the most when you become a parent. But we've made special exceptions in our household to do a double header, and it's yeah, it feels like it's the right time to have this film in an otherwise miserable state of affairs.
So talk to me a little bit about the branding behind Barbie. They've done quite an exceptional job with the marketing for this film, haven't they?
Yeah, so I think look, let's talk about why it's been successful. I think look, Barbie is already an instantly recognizable brand. It's like whether you are 80 or 18, you've seen it, or if you've 8, you've probably seen it in some guys where it's moved to television, it's moved to games, it's moved to YouTube. So it's a pretty omnipresent brand, and that's why I think it's so effective for a film. Like everyone has seen it, you're in and you're ready to go. It's got that base point, reference point. And I think one of the best ways to look at it, I think the timing's been spectacularly helpful. Like as I sort of touched upon, it's not a very cheerful world at the moment. It's a lot. I think look, you've heard words like omni crisis and like it's
Yeah.
inflation and cost of living crisis and the world's on fire. And Barbie's just all of that isn't.
It definitely is. I think everyone needs their own little Barbie dream house, don't they? Especially in the current cost of living crisis. Um, so Barbie has been around for so many years. What age range would you say is going to be expected to enjoy this the most? Or do you think, like you said, it's across all age ranges?
Yeah. So I think for the film itself, I think it's going to be people of my sort of age are going to find it. It's like it's a nostalgia fueled film, and that is why nostalgia does especially well with millennials, especially because we are a miserable bunch who think we've been really hard done by and everything was better when we were younger, and that comes into and Barbie was in a happy time, right? And I think that is part of the reason it's been so successful. It's also the reason I think why other brands are so keen to play in it, because it's just a universally happy point. And it's quite hard for brands to constantly play off cost of living, constantly play off like, yeah, omnichannel political turmoil in Westminster. And I think that's why you're seeing brands are almost doing a helping Barbie market, because everyone wants to get on this pink roller coaster.
Yeah, because if we touch back on places like Zara and Primark, they've absolutely jumped at the opportunity for a Barbie clothing line, haven't they?
Yeah, but it's not just them. It's like there's official partnerships and there's also been unofficial partnerships. So if you look at some of the work that's been done that I've seen and I really like, there's been an Airbnb partnership, so you can go and stay in that Barbie dream pink house. There's been Just Eat have launched a pink menu which involves pink doner kebabs, and you can get a takeaway delivered in a Cadillac driven by a Barbie lookalike.
You mentioned earlier that Barbie was once linked to sort of like sexism and, the wrong idea of the female form. Has that changed? Do you think this movie is going to be part of that further change?
Yeah, so from what I like, look, it's always a bit tricky as a straight bloke talking about what is the correct way for women's bodies to be viewed. But like, look, I think you'd have to be a pretty harsh critic to say that it hasn't moved with the times. And like, I think, look, I believe they've had Mahala Barbies, they've had like amputee Barbies, there's been disability Barbies going through, which has really broadened that inclusivity. And I think, look, they had to do that, otherwise I think they would have gone out of business, because you can't just have stick thin Barbie blonde who like going the way through. And from what I've seen from the trailers, that looks like the way they're taking the film as well. I think it's got good self-awareness.
And do you have an opinion on Barbie magic? Because there's a lot of words like Barbie magic being thrown around there. I feel like you might have something to say.
No, it's like Barbie magic's there in the eyes of the beholder, right? Like I think like the only Barbie magic I've seen is like the marketing magic, where it's just like I think it's going to kick on what's the word I'm looking for? I think it's going to kick on a trend of we might see more toys turn into films. And the bit that I'm really interested in is this sense of a Mattel universe.
I mean, it's a film like Toy Soldiers, which is one of my favourite films growing up, is
Yeah.
anything to tell us. I think that's going to just prove to us how well Barbie's going to do.
But it's really interesting because it's like the natural comparison is probably Transformers. Like it's Transformers started life as a toy, as a cartoon, and then went into a film and then repopulated the toy market. And I think you'll probably see that with Barbie because you've got to be, it's quite rare for it to be toy becomes film, not film produces toy. So it's like, for example, Toy Story didn't exist before Woody and Buzz were created, and then Woody and Buzz became some of the best-selling toys of all time.
And the last thing I want to touch on is what toy would you like to see turned into a movie?
Oh, I think I've just shown my hand. Great question. What am I going for? I was always, my thing was I wasn't a big toy fan. I was always football, football, football. And so if it's anything like that, I'd love to see a Sabutio movie about a football team that can't move their legs and have to be flicked by, that could be like a really moving, I mean, it would be trippy, but I'd be up.